Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday. I hope everyone's having a fabulous day. For me, I've woken up really, really early. I've gone back to exercising super, super early, and it's really helped me. I've had a hard time waking up to do it because I was using like a later schedule. But now that I'm doing it earlier, it really changed my Monday, and it's awesome. And I highly recommend it. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, I'm not sure, I talked about a morning routine. So if anybody is having a Monday syndrome and you need a morning routine, I would love for you to go back to my other lives and see if that helps you. And if anything, always let me know so I can help you. So I want to talk about today, what's a mind shift? What mind shift that I had to make of things that helped me where I am today and helped me with business owners who I work with and also potential business owners. Because at times when our mind is in a certain place, it doesn't help us make decisions. We become stuck, or you've heard of the statement of fight or flight. So I've been wanting to talk about this topic for a while. It's near and dear to my heart. And I'm excited to share it today. So it all starts, the mindset of shifting is following your heart. And it goes into business, it goes into relationships, it goes into everything you do for life, to scale, to for internal happiness. It just goes into everything. And you know, a lot of people would say this is like, all we have is today. And I would never understand it, because growing up, it was always about, especially in accounting, it's like you have to save for retirement and you have to save for your kids' college fund. So I would always have this gap in my mind of, you know, all we have is today. With an accountant, like everything is calculated, and I would never know what to do with that in between. So my first thing that I want to talk about is the concept of plenty versus lack. And a lot of you have probably heard about this before, scarcity mindset versus abundance. So I'm going to go into this in a few different areas. So I hope you enjoyed today's share. Those with an abundant mentality, they feel that there's a lot of everything. There's a lot of resources from love, relationships, opportunity, abundance, wealth, being prosperous. You know, when they talk about things that they want to buy or that they want to do, they say sentences like, I can't afford. Then you might have somebody who has like a lack mentality, and then they're going to use sentences like, I cannot afford. They have more of like a limiting belief of what's possible and what's available to them in life. So they're going to use sentences like, I can't afford. All of a sudden you shrink up, and then the opportunities become almost like the concept of like Jack in the Box, where like you're in that box, but you don't jack up. And then you shrink up in terms of really what's available to you. If you think big versus you think small, it really helps you feel like open and wide and really deep touch and dig into your heart to really feel what is true to you, to share and to follow in your daily life. And again, all we have is today to really do that. It reminds me of something on the weekend. My son, we were driving somewhere and he was listening to this YouTube video and he was just dying of laughter. And I'm probably not going to repeat it as well as the video, but this guy, some people were telling this guy, because he's heavy set, that he overlives life because he's eating a lot of cake and all these other sorts of things. And his theory was, he goes, but all I have is today. He goes, let's say I died tomorrow, I could have had a piece of cake today. That's what was important to him. So it was really just very funny. He was like, if I died tomorrow and I could have a piece of the cake, he goes, that's not good. He goes, I want people to look at me and feel like that person has made life, you know. And he would continue to say how, you know, life is measured by how old you are and how long you've lived, not by how well you lived every day. And I just thought it was a very interesting comparison because it's true. It's a matter of how well you live every day versus not how many years you've lived. Like if you live to like 96 or 101, but you haven't really done anything. You haven't really gone to Israel, Florida, or visited the States or, you know, Costa Rica and all these fun places. So I thought that was a great thing. A scarcity mindset just increases limitations and it prevents creativity, which is, it just brings you back into that shrinking mindset of thinking things so limited and not opening up and discovering what life is all about and has in store for you in the divine. What happens is that when you're open and thinking and your heart is there, you come into these two different states of what could be of either a proactive mindset or a reactive mindset. A reactive mindset is somebody who's waiting for things to happen and then to act. A proactive person is creating strategies and different solutions and a plan for the future, a strategy so that types of things like that don't happen and that they're scaling their life and living and all those fun things. So they're taking a really different approach versus somebody who's a scarcity mindset. They're just waiting and they're just sitting there. And a proactive person is just sitting there with beautiful different strategies and creativity and things for the long term, which is a very different way of thinking. That's how I work with my clients in terms of being a more proactive mindset and proactive in terms of how we work in terms of the business scalability so that they can accomplish all their dreams and their desires in their business. And it really works fabulous. And when I've mastered it, now I share it with my clients and I'm sharing it with you, my listeners, as a very big key of business success into the next steps to scalability to work with your clients to accomplish and what you want in your business too. The next thing, which was a very big part, is just checking my notes here today, is if you embrace change versus fear of change. Now, a person with an abundant mindset feels embracing change is a big part of their life. Now, I was on the phone with my coach today, and I asked him a simple question of, not a simple question, but it just came up of like, Coach, why do you want to coach me? And one of the things he says is like, it was my thirst to want to grow in life, amongst a bunch of other wonderful things that he has shared. But one of the things that he shared to me is that it was my thirst to develop and to grow. And for me, it's an integral part of life, this. And I embrace and I accept change, and at times I don't. But it's a very big part of my development and my self-growth to really embrace that, even when the times that I don't, but I still show up every day like he was saying, and be there open to receive the information so that I can take those next steps. And appreciating the fact that change leads to more positive outcomes. Even if change is somewhat challenging or difficult to navigate, you really always have more positive outcomes. Fear is a plague mindset. It's toxic, and it's not people who want change. They're going to spend time constantly complaining in a victim mentality. They're going to take a longer time to accept the change. And I'll tell you, I was that person. And it used to really like paralyze me in many, many different ways. And once I realized that and I became aware of that of myself, I really shifted out of that because I didn't like how much time I was wasting. I wasn't utilizing, I don't want to call it wasting actually. I was not being as productive as I wanted to be and felt that I could be. And this time when you are sitting into this fear mode of not accepting the change, you lose time that you can utilize for other things. But when you embrace the change and you see what life has to open up for you and you take it in slowly and step by steps, you would realize how much more positive things that can come, and it's with your growth as well. Now, the last part of this is what is working and what is not working. Now, a person with a scarcity mindset selects negative thoughts and adopts a victim mentality. They feel that the world is doing things to them versus things happening for them. So there's a very important distinction here of to you and for you. So the strong emotions on a daily basis, which is the scarcity part, you come into anxiety, fear, worry, anger, resentment. And when that happens, that's something that's not going to work for you, because if you're in a fear mode, something that you're fear of is going to happen. If you're worried about something, it's going to happen. The daily focus is on what's not working and not on what is working. So those with an abundant mindset often are visionaries. They see limitless possibilities and the openness to life. They focus on daily life on what is working. So an abundance mindset is somebody who focuses on what's working, and somebody who is focused on scarcity is going to focus every day on what is not working. Now, if you look at where you are today, the path you've traveled is perfect and exactly the way it's supposed to be. But deciding to change your path, the first step is just saying yes. And when you just say yes, that's your first step of embracing the change versus being in fear of the change. Now, when you make that change, there's all sorts of things that come with that. And it only brings more joy, more happiness, and more love, and more positive outcomes. Now, life is too short to not live large and to believe in endless possibilities and to see really what life has to offer, and to choose to live an abundant life of creating memorable moments that really you can cherish forever, which is just so, so important. And I'll tell you, just a quick story. Just this past summer, I spent so much beach time, more than I've ever had. And I think one of the many things I thank my coach for, but it's making everything sacred. And I have the opportunities to be at the beach house very often, so I take advantage of that. So every Saturday, when I would be home, like just popping in food and whatever, I've taken the chance to be able to live at the beach and to be able to take advantage of that relaxing time and to really rejuice up my energy. And obviously, because it's a Sabbath, I'm not on the phone, but I get to re-energize and be on the ocean and watch the waves, go on the water, play with the sand, and all those sorts of things. So to go over for today, whether you're an entrepreneur, you're an employee, or you're looking for an accountant, I share all these different things because even when clients are looking for services, they could be so aware, but it's like that final step. It's like you're at the end of the edge and you're like, should I or shouldn't I? And so much of you wants to, and then so much of you is like, I'm going to wait. But it all goes into what type of mindset do we have? Are we in an energy? Are we in a scarcity mindset? Or are we in a abundance mindset? So you have the plenty versus lack. You have thinking big versus small, proactive versus reactive, embracing change versus fear of change, happiness versus resentment. Actually, I didn't talk about that one. Forgive me. Happiness versus resentment happiness is when you're genuinely happy for other people. Resentment is when for other people that are accomplishing, you're jealous and you're just like, why them and why not me? And when that happens, it's just very sad, because you're just always feeling like the victim. You're always feeling like life is happening to you and it's not happening for you. And when those things are happening, embracing the change is really the biggest key. And there's always ways to get support. It doesn't mean because you asked for help or because you're worried about embracing the change that something is wrong with you. If anything, something is not wrong with you, because you're stepping in fully and you want that next level of life. Like, I would always look at people and I would feel like, wow, how did they do it? How did they do it? They just walked right in and they took it on, and they decided that they were going to walk through that door and see what life is all about in that way. And, when you do that and you see all the happiness and all the new positive outcomes that can come, you are so happy, and there's so many shifts that can come. So when those aha moments come, I would love for you to share it with me and to whoever else you feel that can benefit from this. I would be so grateful. So we talked about the happiness versus resentment and what is working and what is not working. And I want to leave you with the thought of life is too short. I just wrote this a little bit, so I'm going to read it. Life is too short. Live large. Believe in the endless possibilities life has to offer, and choose to live an abundant life, creating memorable moments. And you can cherish them forever. So that last line really touches me in my heart, is creating memorable moments so that you can cherish that forever. With your kids, with your business partner, with your loved one, with anybody who you choose to do it with. It's the abundance mindset versus the scarcity mindset, and choosing what's working, what's not, and always saying that you can afford and that you can't. So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, remember, creating memorable moments and abundance mindset. And I would love if you shared your key takeaways from today and how it applied to you in life. Have a great rest of your day. I love you all. Bye.